Boom, it started.
All right, awesome.
How are you doing today, Patrick?
I'm doing great, Reese. Thanks for having me on. I've been busy with parent meetings today. The mid-cycle meetups with house advisors, trying to recognize where kids are doing well and helping people out where they need some support.
That's awesome. So you want to
Yeah.
just hop right into it, or
Yeah, sure. Oh, sorry, I thought you were recording already.
I am.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
sure. Let's hop into it.
question one.
Okay.
Why did you start teaching?
Why did I start teaching? So this is actually something that I love telling people about, and that is because I knew in high school that I wanted to travel the world more. So I had heard about international teaching and different avenues to move abroad, but be able to be a teacher and speak in your native language and in international schools. So, I went to school to become a teacher, and then as soon as I graduated, I actually moved to China, and I taught in three different schools when I was in China.
In China?
Yeah, I was in China for 6 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah, and you know what the best part is, Reese, is when you're in schools over there, is that you get the same school holidays, but airfare is so much cheaper that essentially every school holiday I was traveling to a different country in Asia. So, I've been to Thailand on vacation 3 times. I've been to Hong Kong, Taiwan, um, Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, Japan. I've been all over Asia, all because I was living in China, and it was just so much more affordable to jump country to country and stay in cheap hostels and live life like that.
That is all. Is that how you found out about Sora?
No, I actually found out about Sora because so I was over in China during COVID times, and there was a closed door policy with COVID when I was in China, which meant if you left the country, you couldn't get back in. Okay, so, which essentially meant my international travels were slowing down. And so I was traveling around China during school holidays, but I wasn't actually leaving the country. And so I found myself about 2 years since I had been back to America and saw my family. And so, I needed to move back to Chicago. I'm from Chicago, where my family's from. And so I actually initially found a school in downtown Chicago that I was part of for 3 years, but due to financial issues, the school actually was closed down. And the curriculum that the school I was at was inquiry based, IB International Baccalaureate. And so when I was looking for another school, I definitely wanted to go with a inquiry based slash project based learning, and that's how I came across Sora.
That is awesome. So you've taught here, you've taught in China. Where else have you taught?
Well, I went to Bangladesh for 2 weeks, and I did some volunteering in a school in Bangladesh. But no, for the most part, just teaching in America, teaching in China.
That's super cool.
Yeah, for sure.
In your time that you've been teaching in online school, what is
Yeah.
something that you would want other people to know? Something good to know coming in.
About online school?
Yes.
Um, I think what I would really want people to know is that the sky is the limit for creativity in terms of setting up tasks or activities for your students to do, and to really push your students and make use of technology and resources that are available to your learners.
That is awesome. So, next question. Off of the school topic,
Okay,
what sports have you played and
for
which one
sure.
is your favorite?
Yeah, for sure. So, I was actually a PE teacher for a few years in my teaching career. So I'm a big sports fanatic. I've been coaching youth sports for about 15 years now. But me personally, growing up, I was a wrestler for 10 years. So I wrestled in middle school, high school, and college. And then I played baseball and basketball growing up. And then I played American football up until about junior year of high school. But I stopped playing football because I wasn't as big as the other guys. So I kind of found a limitation when I got to my senior year. So I did cross country. So all of that combination actually set me up as an adult. I currently still play rugby. I still play sports. I'm on a men's rugby team. And if you're not familiar with rugby, it's kind of like American football, but you cannot pass the ball forward. And then in addition to rugby, I do a lot of long distance runs. So I'm actually currently training for my second marathon in March. Um, and I always run the Shamrock Shuffle, which is like an 8K, 5 miles in downtown Chicago. I partake in some other races just in the Chicagoland. So yeah, essentially in this day and age, rugby and cross country running.
That's awesome. How long have you been like competitively running in a sense?
Com competitive. Well, I hate to say competitive running because I'm not like winning races or anything like that. But I would say, um, actually, ever since I graduated college, so maybe the last 12 years.
Oh, damn, that's a really good time for running.
Yeah, well, I mean, like running is something that like I can always have, like if I take a pause on consistently running certain training plans or something like that, and I'm playing more basketball or if I'm concentrated on my rugby sport, I can always go back to running. So that's what I really love that I can do it just for a standalone 3 mile jog or training all the way up to 26 miles.
That's awesome. So, you love sports. You love that. But do you play any video games?
So this is something, and I found I'm kind of the outsider in Sora, because I'm not a gamer. Growing up, I had two brothers, and we shared a PlayStation 2, um, and a Wii. I think we eventually got an Xbox, but I honestly, I just did not really click into gaming. And it's not that I don't respect gaming. I think gaming is very cool. I like games. I just don't, I guess, have the stamina to like stick with it and consistently to game.
Yeah, you'd rather be actively moving your body and doing
Yeah, for
something.
sure. And don't get me wrong, like when I was in like middle school, I used to go to like Call of Duty parties and like stay up all night and LAN parties where we would be in the same room, but everybody was on a different computer. And I'm not talking about laptops, I'm talking about stationary computers. So, I have some experience with it, but no, I've never really consistently played video games. And now I'm married to somebody who she never played video games. So like, if I said, "Hey, hon, I'm getting a PlayStation 5," she'd be like, "Why?"
That was actually my next question is, are you married?
Am I married? Yes, I am married. I am married to an Irish citizen, actually, and we met in China. So when I was in China, my best friend over there was Irish. His name was Kieran Singleton, and Kieran told his friend Selena to come to China, and so I met her through him.
How long have you been married to Selena?
4 years and 5 months. Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah, we actually got married in Italy.
Italy. Is it nice over
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, I love Italy. And it's funny because we got engaged in Italy, we got married in Italy, and then we spent some of our honeymoon in Italy as well. So, or sorry, the year. after, like not honeymoon, but 1 year after we got married, we actually went back to Italy. It's a great place. If you've never been, I would highly suggest the Amalfi Coast, which is the side of Italy. I think it's on the east side. Yeah,
That's super cool. But next question is food. What
food.
do you like to snack on during the day?
Snack on during the day. My go-to is like peanut butter and anything. So I love like peanut butter and cut up apples, peanut butter, and my favorite actually is like those thin pretzel chip type deals. I think they're called like pretzel thins. Um, Peanut butter and pretzel thins. I know it sounds gross, but sometimes peanut butter and carrots.
Peanut butter and carrots?
Yeah.
That is something I would not have thought to put those two together. Out of all of those, which one's your favorite?
My favorite is definitely pretzels and peanut butter for sure. It has to be chunky peanut butter.
So no smooth peanut butter, only chunky.
No, I'll accept smooth, but preferential chunky.
Chunky peanut butter is your favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any kids?
Do I have any kids? No, we do not have kids, but we have two dogs that are actually rescue dogs from China. So yeah, so they've got interesting stories. So I've got a big golden retriever, and then I've got a small poodle mix. And the poodle mix was actually a street dog. She was found. They think she was about 2.5 when she was found, and she was actually pregnant. And the woman who brought her in took her and the puppies to like all these adoption fairs, and the puppies got all adopted, but she never did until my wife was telling me, hey, at the time she was my girlfriend. She said, hey, let's foster this dog. And when you're just dating and don't really know each other that well, she's telling me we're fostering the dog, and lo and behold, she actually told the woman that she would adopt the dog. So that's Phoebe. She is scared of new people, but after about 45 minutes, she'll be your best friend. Definitely has some trauma from living on the streets. And then Lucky, who's the biggest sweetheart ever, she is this golden retriever that loves everybody. She was actually initially owned by a family that we don't know anything about, and unfortunately got sick with that family. And the family brought her to the vets, and the vet costs were, I guess, too expensive, and they unfortunately blocked all contact with the vet and anything, and so she was just abandoned at this hospital, this animal hospital. And you know, luckily she came and lived with us, and those are our children.
I'm happy that Lucky wasn't just abandoned on the street and it was in a safer place.
Definitely, definitely. That's what we always said was that Lucky had it a bit easier.
Lucky's lucky.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Would you want any more dogs?
No, I think at this point in time, two is the maximum, not only because we live in an apartment, so two is the maximum, but in terms of dog walking and everything, it's just logistically difficult to have more than two. Now, if if we owned our own home and we had a big backyard, that'd be a different story. I think we could see four, maybe five rescue dogs.
That's actually super cool. But what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on fish? Like owning a
On
pet
fish.
fish?
Pet fish. I when I was growing up, I always had pet fish. I think they're cool. Um, I think we had betta fish. We had a lot of guppies. Yeah, I like fish.
I actually have two guppies in a fish tank right behind me right now, and a
Oh, nice.
swordtail.
Oh, nice. That's cool. What are the care plans? Like, how do you look after them?
The care plans, since they're in like a 20-gallon fish tank, I don't really have to change the water too much because they're super tiny and they don't produce a lot of ammonia, kind of like goldfish. But with
Okay.
these guys, I really just give them a little pinch of some small flakes, and then they just surround it.
Great.
But I'm thinking about
Awesome.
getting some sand and some plants and then aquascaping it.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. And were you always into fish, or is this something that kind of grew as you've gotten older? Or
It's definitely grew as I've gotten older, mostly because I lived in Alaska for a while. So when I was in Alaska, I did ice fishing and some charters, and then I moved to Colorado, and there's a desert. It's literally a desert. And then now I'm in
gotcha.
New
Well,
York, and I can fish, ice fish. I can do everything. It's just easier.
nice. That's cool. Do you ever miss living in Alaska, or do you like being in New York?
I like being in New York because I have family, but then I love being in Alaska because there's so much snow and wildlife, and it's not like it felt like the air was cleaner.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've been to New York a few times, and I definitely know what you mean in terms of like outdoorsy stuff and kind of being in a big city. Do you ever go upstate New York at all?
I actually live in upstate New York.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Awesome. Okay.
Do you like fishing?
So I used to do a lot of fishing as a kid, but recently as adult, not really. My wife's not really interested in it. Just really haven't been presented with the opportunity.
Yeah. When you did fish, though, what type of fish were you catching?
Oh, just like basic kind of sunfish, bluegills, just kind of neighborhood ponds, things like that. But I wish I knew this actually before we got on. I could have found a picture. When I was growing up, I was in the Boy Scouts, and there is a high adventure camp called Sea Base in Florida, where you go on a boat for like 7 days, 6 nights, or 6 days, 5 nights, and you sleep on the boat. And essentially, what you do is you scuba dive once or twice a day, and sometimes night dives. But another thing we did was fishing. And so we caught like I can't even remember the name of the fish, but something like super long. And so we were actually able to grill that fish. We ate that fish, and then there was one day, or there was actually 2 days, but we only did it one day where we just got lucky, and it so happened to be called lobster open season. And so the boat captain uh, went to a place where it was shallow enough where we could actually get in without scuba gear. And I think like the fishing limit was like 6 lobsters per person, and we had 12 people on board, and it was just like overcrowded with lobsters. So I remember we like had these like gloves, and we were just going in and just grabbing lobsters and putting them into like a netted bag. And so that night, I think we came back with like 26 lobsters or something like that.
Those lobster must have been absolutely delicious. And that's
Oh,
like
they
a lot of
yeah,
lobster.
yeah, exactly. And just like as fresh as you can be, literally self-caught.
What was your favorite part of that trip?
Definitely the night scuba diving, because I don't know, do you have any experience with scuba diving or snorkeling?
No, I've never lived in an area where that's like a common thing to do. Easy.
Fair enough. So when you're in open water, there's always a chance that a shark could come, especially if you're off the ocean of Florida. However, with that said, the boat captains are very experienced. They wouldn't be bringing kids into shark-infested waters, things like that. So when we did the night dive, imagine literally going in water where it's pitch dark, and the only thing you can see is with the flashlight. So that was like nerve-wracking, and just a very cool memory. And no, we never ended up seeing a shark at the night dive anyways. We saw some turtles and some cool kind of like glowy fish.
That's super cool. I would definitely want to see a
Yeah,
turtle. That's just straight up awesome.
yeah, for sure.
Do you like normally swim? Have you ever swam for a team?
So, I've never swam for a team, but part of my training sometimes I do swim for exercise. And luckily enough, in my apartment building, we actually have a it's not a full length pool. I think it's, although no, I think it is 25 meters. So sometimes when I'm training for like a race or something, or like if my knees or legs are sore because I had a big workout, the day before, or got banged up from rugby, I'll implement some water exercises, like maybe do like a freestyle swim and then like use the pool as like a underwater sprint and then do some breaststroke and then maybe walk the pool or something like that. So I really do like using swimming for exercise. It's low impact on the joints.
Yeah. What how do you like how do you recover after like a rugby game or a big workout, a lot of exercise? What's your favorite way to
That
recover?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's definitely something that I'm passionate about, especially as I'm getting older, because recovery is super necessary. Because, when I was in my teens and my 20s, I could go run 10 miles and then play a soccer game the next day. Whereas now I feel like recovery definitely needs to be more of an active thing. So my kind of for sure recovery plan is like I'll get a certain water bottle or something, like a big Yeti or something like that, and I'll put like either a half Gatorade, half water solution, or maybe like a bit of water with some salts for electrolytes. And then I love to go to the hot tub, and then I do like a 10-minute soak in the hot tub, and then I do like a 15-minute stretch routine, and essentially just like hold different stretch positions for like a 30-second count. And then when I finish with that, I jump in the pool and then I go to the steam room. And so I really find that that helps. And then obviously nutrition is key. So making sure I'm getting my protein and a lot of leafy greens and vitamins and things like that.
That is awesome. That's actually really smart. I should start doing that because I play for a soccer club and I like to run and like do a lot of active stuff. So I might try that with the
Yeah,
Yeti
I
and
would definitely
stretching.
suggest if you haven't before, try stretching in a hot tub or like a jacuzzi or something post exercise.
Yeah. Do you like dry saunas or wet saunas more?
Uh, I think I like wet saunas better. Yeah. I like both, but yeah,
Wet saunas are
I like
just
the wet, like the steam room.
yeah. That's really like all my questions.
All right. Well, hey, time flies when you're having fun, right? Like we've already been chatting for nearly 30 minutes.
Yeah. And it's 4 o'clock. It's when you said you had to go. So
Yeah, I do need to go because I do have a parent meeting here soon. But Reese, I appreciate you having me on, and I would love to do another interview with you guys if you need me down the line.
yeah, totally. Have a good day. I'll
All
see you
right,
later.
sounds good, Reese. Have a good
You
day.
too.
Bye.